Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great this morning on this September the 17th, 2014. This is our first late arrival day. So I thought I'd try something a little bit different and unique to respect everyone's time, understanding that we really only have about an hour's worth of time together. I didn't want to try to gather everybody in the library and then have you guys break out as grade levels. I just felt like that time wouldn't be valuable, so I thought I'd try to do a little bit of this before and kind of try this flipped classroom thing and see how it goes, and that'll allow me to possibly deal with hundreds or dozens of kids that are going to show up this morning. I have no idea how that's going to work out, so I want to make sure that I'm available this morning to either hopefully to help you guys out in your grade level sessions, but if need be, get down to the cafeteria and or the gym to assist our aides. So I am presenting this opening meeting via video, so hopefully it goes well and you guys can see what we're doing and we can get some things accomplished today. So I just want to first talk about, all right, what are we hoping to accomplish this morning? We're really hoping to build off of some of the grade level work that was done in August. You guys met as grade levels. I was at the high school doing professional development, so I feel bad that I wasn't here able to join you all for that. But what I've gathered in talking to other administrators and you guys around the building, that what you did in August is you started to work on your enduring standards and talked a little bit about standards as grade levels, and then more importantly, you started talking about, okay, how can this help us develop our student growth goals? So today is really an extension of that work. I hope I don't, my goal is that you are not recreating what the work that you did in August, but rather building upon it in preparation for when we get together as a district group in October. So I'm just going to real quick give you a brief tutorial or a brief explanation of what I hope you guys get to accomplish this morning, and then turn you guys loose with each other at each grade level. First and foremost, I've gone around this evening and I've put in everybody's classroom an agenda. And in that agenda, it's a page, it looks like this. On that agenda, you're going to see you've got this Tpges infomercial, a review of STAR early literacy data, and then so on and forth. So on and so forth. You guys can read through that. You don't need me to do that for you, but this agenda sheet is going to be important as it's going to help you go through that. On the back of that is going to be this worksheet, and on this worksheet, this is something that I would like turned in, one per grade level. We've been asked to have that each grade level kind of submit some documentation just as evidence of things that you've done. So I would ask that at least one of these is turned in per grade level, just so I can kind of get a sense of where we are as a building. So I would ask that you complete this in your groups today. So in your folder, everybody walked around. I talked about a folder. Everybody should have walked in their classroom today and should have noticed there was a folder sitting either on your desk or somewhere just in your room. So hopefully you found that folder, and that's where you found your agenda and your other works or your worksheet that needs to be completed. In addition to that folder, you found in homeroom teachers, you would have found some STAR data. And this STAR data, I think this is a good report. This is a STAR reading, STAR math data. And what this report is, it is a breakdown of how your students performed on the STAR math and STAR reading assessments by standard. So depending on, I realized there were some, different folks had different opinions on how that STAR data came out. But I do think this is a valuable report. So one of the first things that I'd ask that you guys do as a grade level is look at this report and see what information is gleaned from that. Our goal today is really, as I mentioned earlier, is to build upon the information or the meeting that you guys had in August. And in that meeting in August, you started to talk a little bit about student growth goals and identifying needs and needs assessments. And what this report does is it really looks at your individual class and compares it with the state standards or the Common Core standards, and lets you know, okay, where are strengths and where are weaknesses in my group. And so I'm not asking that you deviate from the plan that you did in August, but I do think it's interesting information. I know many of the grade levels as a district kind of established some goals or standards that they were going to work on. And so I'm perfectly comfortable if you guys maintain those ideas. So for example, 4th and 5th grade, we talked about inferencing. 3rd grade talked about multiplication. 2nd grade talked about adding up to within 100, and I believe 1st grade talked about sight word awareness. And so if you want to maintain those goals, that's totally fine with me. But I would like you guys to spend a few minutes today looking at this STAR data and seeing, okay, after looking at this, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the students in my class? What do they do well? What do they not do well with? And that may help us make some decisions in the future, not so much this year, but in the future years is, okay, is this a valuable report? So when I go to create my student growth goals in the future, is this some data that I can use to help me create my student growth goals? A second thing that I would like you guys to do today is once you take a few minutes to, I'm having a hard time working this camera, after you have a few moments and spend some time looking at those standards and see where your kids' and classes' strengths and weaknesses are, what I'd like for you to do is then to get into the flip book and do a comparison of the state standard and then identify the enduring standard that goes along with that. So an enduring standard, if you remember, or an enduring understanding, is something that is universal all throughout the course of the year. So it's not a snapshot of something that you'll be covering throughout one particular point and moment in time throughout the year, but rather what is an enduring understanding that students need to have throughout the entire second grade year or entire third grade year. And these books do a really nice job of connecting the standard with an enduring understanding. And so what I'd like for you to do is to take that STAR report, identify the standard, one reading, one math, use your book to identify the enduring understanding. And all that can be completed on the worksheet. I think once you get into it, it's pretty self-explanatory. Another thing that you're going to find in your folder today is going to be this worksheet. It's just a timeline. I've given you this at our last faculty meeting. It's a bright green sheet, but it's just timelines. As we get ready to go through teacher evaluation, you'll see that the next big date that you guys have up on your calendar is October 31st. That's when your student growth goal and your professional growth goal need to be complete. So we're going to be working on student growth goals quite a bit today. As you work through the agenda, you'll see that's kind of the task that I want you to complete. Another thing you're going to be talking about today is your pre-assessment. So what is the pre-assessment going to be? How are we going to assess this enduring, this Common Core skill or this enduring understanding? So how are we going to assess it? What is it that we're going to assess? How are we going to assess it? And moving forward. The next thing that I would like you guys to look at today, when you look at our certified evaluation plan, there is a page in here. It's a rubric, a rigor rubric, and this goes to when you go to create your student growth goal. I don't know if we'll get to that point today because really you need to have student data to create that student growth goal. But once you create that student growth goal, it needs to be in a SMART goal format. And this yellow page would be helpful to you in getting that complete. Another form that is in your page or in your folder is this pink page. And this pink page really talks about how to create your student growth goal. So again, today I don't know if you'll get to that point as a group to write your student growth goal. You can probably get a rough idea of what that student growth goal might look like. But once you get to that point as a grade level, you can use this as a guide of creating your student growth goal. And this is a really good reference to go by. Additionally, in your folder, you've got sample student growth goals that are written. So again, you've got the student growth goal, and these are samples to look at. So as you, as a grade level, one, identify what your student growth goal is going to be. Two, you're going to figure out how you're going to assess it. Three, you figure out, all right, how are we going to administer this pre-assessment? And then finally, once you get those results, you will start to determine, okay, how can I write this student growth goal in this SMART format? At the bottom of your agenda, then I talk to you and I ask you guys to start talking about next steps. In October, we are going to meet together as a district, and we will form together how we're going to do these things. So really today as a grade level, my goal for you is really to look at these pre-assessments. Well, first of all, it's identify your enduring understanding and your score, Common Core standard that you're going to be assessing. Look at how can I create this pre-assessment. when am I going to administer this pre-assessment, what is it going to look like once I have those results, how am I going to create my student growth goal. And so using all of those resources that I've given you today, hopefully you'll be a little bit more informed and you'll be able to do that together as a grade level. It is not necessary that everyone across the district at the 3rd grade level or the 4th grade level or 5th grade level have the exact same student growth goal. There's a chance that you may and you might, and that's perfectly fine if you do. But when we meet back in October, hopefully as a Woodville staff and a Woodville grade level, we can meet with the Moyer and Johnson staff and say, this is the identified standard that we're going to be using. This is the pre-assessment that we have decided that we are going to use, and ultimately you may even at that point in time have already administered your student growth or administered your pre-assessment and have your student growth goal already written. So timelines on those are, ultimately by the end of October we need to have that totally complete, and hopefully as a staff we'll get together and have those things together. So I appreciate your time today. Good luck. I know you guys will work well together as a group, and hopefully everything goes well in the cafeteria, and I'll have some time to walk around and help you guys out through this process. So have a great day, and let's hope this late arrival is very beneficial for you all. Thanks.